my feet. My feet, I move my hips. My hips, I move my arms up and down like a bird. Like a happy, happy bird.
Alrighty, welcome to Wayne's episode 2. And this is pretty much a little bit different with Welcome to Wayne's. Now, the first episode was an introduction to the show. Now, again, they did release some shorts a couple of years ago that I did see, but it didn't really interest me due to the animation. And again, it was shorts, and I was kind of like tired of the shorts. But again, I didn't know what the purpose was. If I knew this was going to be a full long running series, like I don't know, let's say a long running series, 22-minute episodes, then if I knew that, I'd be like, yeah, shit, I'll watch it more. I would have done reviews on this a long time ago. However, I didn't know the situation, so here it is. Now, before I go into this video, I want to really talk about that Nickelodeon's releasing all these episodes on a day-to-day basis, which I don't like, but okay, we'll see how it goes. Because episode 2 already aired yesterday, which I'm doing a review of that today. But I'm trying to let people know, go check these episodes out or DVR them if you can. I thought Nickelodeon was going to release these online too to see how they do online, but they didn't, so you have to DVR them. DVR these episodes, check them out. I think they put them next to Loud House, so it should get some ratings here and there, which is good. But yeah, they need to really promote this better, because I don't think they're promoting this very, very good, to my understanding. But again, some people say they got it, some people say they didn't. So, all right. But anyway, the episode is called Like a Happy Bird. Now, this episode's focused on Anashe, or Ashi, whatever you want to call it, Ashi, and the Team Timbers follow a mystery figure, a mystery guy in a cloak. He was in episode 1, but he really didn't have that much to do in that one. But he looks for the card that was taken in the first episode, and now in the second episode, he's trying to get it back, but also he tries to get the card. However, there's also a new character coming in. Her name is Julian. Anashi's girl crush, so I can see the shipping going on in this fucking episode. Like, this is not just called Like a Happy Bird. This is also called Like a Happy Ship. I like to call it, because this would be a lot of shipping because the new character, she came in, so people might start shipping these characters left and right. This is the episode where it begins, ladies and gentlemen. This is where it begins. So going on further with this, so he's trying to tell her what happened with him the previous episode, like all this happened, sleepyhead, and what happened in the previous episode. And she's like, oh yeah, okay. Now I'm thinking in my mind, she's like, she doesn't believe him, but she's like, oh, you got adventures with the Timberlands and all this other stuff. And I'm sitting there like, do you believe him and stuff like that? Apparently, I guess she does believe him. And I'm sitting there like, okay, well, whatever. I guess she's okay with this. And they're just having a random conversation. Now, she wanted to join team. He wants her to join Team Timberlands. Timbers. However, we all know that the Timbers, we all know the two other characters, they stay to themselves. They don't want to be no part with nobody else. Soon Julie comes in, oh, what's this? That's not, they're hiding everything. Like, what are you doing while she's here? They're going back and forth with that. So eventually she has this weasel or ferret or whatever, this weasel or ferret. Now, this weasel or ferret is sick. Come to find out, it's sick. Now, she said at 5 o'clock it needs to have its medicine. We don't even know what the medicine is. Now, I can tell you when I saw the medicine, I said, that don't even look like no damn medicine. It looks like a goddamn potion. And I was like, is this bitch, now I'm thinking in my mind, is she a witch? Because I'm looking at this like, this is no medicine. It looks like a potion. So I kept saying to myself, I said, that ain't no medicine. So eventually, he didn't get his medicine. And I kid you not, the weasel or ferret went from sick looking animal to a fucking kaiju looking animal. I swear for God, that shit just went crazy. I said, oh God. And I knew it was gonna go that route, but I was like, damn. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's some more stuff behind this girl too. If they come to find out, oh, she's a witch. Makes a hell of a lot of sense. Makes a hell of a lot of sense. But yeah, I was like, hey, Jesus. So eventually they all go to the library. Now everyone goes to the library. Everybody gets to the library now because the last episode, the last two other main characters, they didn't get to the library. So I was like, okay, well, Caroline, no, not Caroline, Sarah Line and Ollie, they didn't go to the library. So now they go to the library to try to find this guy with the cloak because he's trying to get the cards. Eventually, the guy with the cloak, they start to work together to take out the weasel, so he can get his medicine back. Eventually, they figure out the weasel, whatever. And also, I kid you not, they do this stupid dance, which I probably showed you in the early part of the video, and I'm showing you this dance right here again to distract them, which was freaking hilarious to the point I was like, wow. So I was like, okay. I mean, it was a good way to distract him. Then they threw the potion, I'm calling it the potion, I ain't calling it a medicine, it's a fucking potion, in his mouth. And eventually the weasel returned back to his original sick form. Honestly, I want to say this episode didn't really progress. Matter of fact, it did progress the story of the library, what's more going on behind the library, the story behind Welcome to Wayne's. But you could also look at this episode as a chill episode, a laid-back episode, introducing a new character like Julia to the frame and see where she goes with the show. And that's a pretty cool thing. I want to call this one of this a story progression episode. It is and it isn't. It's a story progression to the library, but not to the whole plot of the story, which is fine. And it looks like we'll get episodes like this, which is cool too. I don't mind that, but still, at least they're progressing to the story. Regardless, this was a fantastic episode. Again, this show proves how a 22-minute format works. This show proves that when you take care, it proves that you can do story development, a character development show with story, and do it like Gravity Falls. This show reminds me, it's like Gravity Falls had a baby with Rick and Morty, and this show came out. And it really is, because I look at it, it feels like more and more like a Rick and Morty type of animation style. Again, the animation it's not breathtaking, but again, you can get over that if you follow the characters and you like the story and you'll get over that to the point you don't even care. And if you can make me not care about your animation because you have a good story, good characters, then you've done a fucking fantastic job. And I'm trying to make the show last because this is probably one of my favorite anime shows airing at this point right now. Better than anything Cartoon Network's doing. Yes, even better than OKKO, which, I'm lukewarm about now because it's been so long, until I hear rumors about a goddamn Infinity Train is getting released, then I'll talk about it. But other than that, guys, this was a fantastic episode. Would I rate it? I mean, I usually don't rate episodes. I rate the series as a whole. But if you want my rating for this episode, for a second episode, a solid 8 out of 10. There's some stuff they did right and stuff they did wrong. But again, it still was a fantastic episode. But again, like I said, I don't really rate, episodes. I wait to the series as a whole. But you know what? If I had to grade it, give it an 8 out of 10. It was a very good episode. I would say check it out. Again, this is story development character. And the thing about a lot of people you like about it is you have to watch each episode because it's a gateway to the next episode. And I like the type of shows like that, continuity. Like, I love continuity. I just love that because it makes you, it's just good for me. I just love it, as always. But as always, guys, like and goddammit, subscribe. Peace. Have a nice Johnston day. And oh yeah, please check out Welcome to Wings later tonight. Episode 3 comes out on 5:30 at Nickelodeon. If you can't check it out, DVR it. If you can, those are great too. I will try to do a review of that later tonight if I possibly can. If I cannot, you'll get it the following day. Probably later tonight though, because tomorrow I got something to do. As always, guys, peace. Have a Johnson day, and I'll talk to you later.